body class here at the church. And it's not just for scriptural things, but it is kind of for scriptural things. You know, the Bible says that God ordered men to let the land rest, and we haven't done that because of greed, and they haven't let the land rest, so all of the minerals and things we need for our body, we can't really get out of the food that we eat anymore. Even though you can eat a whole bunch of vegetables, but it won't give you all the minerals you need for your body. And as we get older, our body gets depleted from things, and there are supplements that we can take to help our bodies, so we're learning about those in the class. And I'm even learning about some new supplements that, like my mother started taking, that to help her body to heal. And I started studying about it, and I found out it's a great thing. And so, how many of y'all know I had some strokes? I had some strokes. The last massive stroke I had was 7 years ago this month.
Wow.
And I did have one a few months after that at the El Mongo thing up here. But anyhow, whenever I had those strokes, I lost some of my brain function. I couldn't even speak. I had severe speech aphasia, and what they would show me a picture. They say, "Can you tell us what that said, what that is?" And I couldn't say anything I was thinking. But I'd hit enough word down in my heart. I meditated on the word enough to where I could still get up and preach, and the word would flow from me. Because I say, speak the word with me, and that comes out of my heart. And so I would get up and preach 15 or 20 minutes, and people would say, "You're preaching better than ever before." Gene said that or something. But people would want me to counsel with them, and I couldn't counsel with people because I still had that. I couldn't get it out of my brain to my mouth, but I could get it out of my heart to my mouth. Amen. The Bible says if we'll meditate on the word day and night and observe to do all that's written therein, then we'll make our way prosperous. Then we'll have good success.
Yes, amen.
And so I prayed when I didn't want to take the Coumadin stuff they wanted to give me and all that. I wasn't going to take it. I said, I am not going to take that. And so I just prayed after the last stroke I had like 6.5 years ago. I had another one at El Magway up here. And but after that stroke, I just prayed. I said, "God, what should I do?" Because they said my blood was too thick, and it was causing my blood to clot. And so I prayed to God what to do. And the Lord led me to start taking 2 full-size aspirins every morning and 2 full-size aspirins every evening. And so I started doing that immediately when that was the night that I had that. I prayed that night, and God led me to do that. And so for the last 6.5 years, I've been taking 2 full-size aspirins every morning and 2 full-size aspirins every evening. And it's kept me, all stroke symptoms kept me away from me ever since then.
Amen.
But I still had some brain stuff that needed some work. And so I started praying, "God, give me direction for taking supplements that's going to help my brain." And so the Lord led me to take a supplement called Pregnenolone. And it's a super supplement. It costs $5 for a 2-month supply. It's amazing how much difference it makes in my mind. And then he led me to take this supplement called acetyl-L-carnitine. How do you say that, Kathy? Acetyl-L-carnitine. And that thing was amazing. It's an amazing supplement for my mind. And I took these supplements in my doctor. I have a VA doctor now. And he told me that L-carnitine, he said, that is a miracle supplement. And my doctor said that. He said, everybody should be taking that. And so, I learned about these things, and we start incorporating into our diet, and they're healing our bodies up. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord.
Praise you, Father.
Praise you, Lord.
And then we still stand on the word for when we need healing for our bodies.
Absolutely.
Jesus made provision for the healing of our bodies.
Amen.
He made provision for the healing of our bodies. So I'm trying to do things, should try to do things to help our body to be healthy and live healthy. And God will also make provision for that, but He gives us wisdom to do things right for our bodies.
Amen.
When I had the very first stroke I had, it'll be 10 years, I think, in January that I had the first. It was like a year after we came into this building. We'll be in this building for 11 years in January. Isn't that something?
Amen.
It was about a year after, it was on January 1st that I had the very first stroke I had. And I was in the hospital, and they gave me, they were giving me prescriptions. And one of the prescriptions they gave me was for a statin drug. And I was a woman doctor, and I said, let me ask you this. I said, is this drug safe? Because a lot of drugs are not safe. And she said, it is safer than aspirin. And I thought, well, that's pretty safe. Safer than aspirin. And so I went home and I took one pill. And it immediately started attacking my muscles. Within an hour, it started attacking my muscles, and it moved around to different places. I mean, I got when she told me that it was safer than aspirin, she said there is one side effect that only affects 1 in 10,000 people. 1 in 10,000 people. And it's that it can attack your muscles. She said, but it's no problem if it does. All you have to do is quit taking it. I found out I only took one pill, it started attacking my muscles, and I quit taking it. It still affected me for a couple of weeks after that. It's kept attacking. It moved around to different muscles in my body. Then I figured out, guess what? Your heart is a muscle.
Yep.
It's the biggest muscle in your body. So I got spooked about that. So I started reading online, and there was this scientist from NASA that had this big article online how it depletes CoQ10 out of your body, and that your muscles need CoQ10 to function. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to take that anymore. And then later I read more, and I found out that it can actually affect your brain, because your brain takes cholesterol to make all the functions in your brain work right, and it causes people to get Alzheimer's. So anyhow, I thought, that's not good at all. Because if your brain needs cholesterol, if we deplete cholesterol, our brain's not going to function right, right? So anyhow, if you are going to take statin, you need to take CoQ10 supplement for your, and it's still going to affect your mind. But we can take supplements that'll help our minds. We can take supplements that'll help our bodies. But we need to use wisdom. Just because a doctor tells you something, don't mean you ought to do it. Every time I go in the doctor, first thing they say, have you had your flu shot? You know, whenever I was in the Army from 1974 to 1977, and there was a thing that they were saying was going to go around called the swine flu. And so they were giving everybody swine flu shots. And I heard bad things about them. And so I asked my commanding officer in the Army, I said, am I required to take the swine flu shot? He said, you absolutely am. I said, what if I don't? He said, we will court-martial you. I thought, well, I don't want to get court-martialed. So I went ahead and let him give it to me. But I got so sick from that shot that Kathy had to take me into the hospital, the post-hospital.
Yes.
And we had some people, a couple of people die on post from that shot. You know, nobody died from the swine flu, but a lot of people died from the swine flu shot. It is sad. So like, ever since then, I've never taken a flu shot. All right? And so I say I've never taken a flu shot since I was in the Army, because I got so sick. Every time they gave me you know how vaccinations work, don't you? What it does, it puts you a little bit of that disease in your body, and your body gets sick from it. So your body builds up immunity to it. It's like when you get...
They say it's a dead virus that they give you.
Huh?
They tell you it's a dead virus that they give you.
Well, that's what they say now.
Yeah, and they can't make you sick.
I mean, everything that they gave me in the Army wasn't dead virus. I mean, they all made me sick. I took one. I remember I took one. You know, they give you all these vaccinations. When we were in basic training, we'd walk down the line. They'd be guys on each side and popping vaccinations in your arm. Anyhow, so they gave us all those. I got sick every time they gave me a vaccination. But anyhow, then I found out through my life, it wasn't long that I found out my cousin, that he had so much back trouble. I used to play golf with him all the time. His name was Tony Swetman. And he he started having back trouble. And I found out he was taking a statin drug. And his muscles in his back were just acting up. He couldn't play golf. And I found out almost everybody who takes these statin drugs has these muscle problems. It's not 1 in 10,000. It's like maybe 1 in 10,000 doesn't have it. The problems. But the doctors say, well, what's the problem with, you can put up with that so you can lower your, listen, you can lower your cholesterol and your brain can quit working. I mean, I need my brain as long as I'm alive. All right? Glory to God. It's a big giant experiment they're doing. So we've got to use our own wisdom on stuff. My doctor, his name's Dr. Bizarre, but he was upset with me for not, he's my mother's doctor now. And I wouldn't do everything he wanted, you know. So he didn't like that. He thought I was stubborn. So he's my mom's doctor now. And so my mom told him, I don't want to take the flu shot. He said, you're stubborn just like your son. That's what he told me. Isn't that right, Mom? Well, I believe in giving God a chance before we trust what the doctors say. They're just men. They do the best they can. But they're just men. God gives us a good instruction. You know, the Bible says that God, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. God did put medicine in the earth. God put all the medicine we need in the earth. It's like, we call it herbs. You call it herbs. And the pharmaceutical companies know that. So they search the earth to find cures for diseases. But they can't make money on herbs.
Right.
So what they do is they take them and they chemicalize them, where they can patent them. They can sell them as a drug. And it costs a lot of money, but they also harm you because drugs have bad side effects because your body is not designed to take a chemical in your body.
That's right.
Your body's designed to natural things that God created.
Yes.
So anyhow, it's synthetic, it's chemical, yeah. Anyhow, so I think we should take care of our bodies as good as we can.
Yes.
And then trust God for the rest.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Hallelujah. Now that's not my message tonight. Turn me to 1 Corinthians chapter 2.